Three championships change hands tonight on Slammiversary. We got some returns. And I'm going to say this right now. I am actually looking forward to watching Impact this coming Tuesday. This is your Impact Wrestling Slammiversary 2020 pay-per-view review. Slammiversary ended almost an hour ago or so. I am now doing the review. I was going to go live, but honestly, I really wasn't feeling like going live, hence why I'm just recording this review. I want to thank all of you for tuning in today back into the channel. If you are new here, hit the subscribe button down below, give the video a big old thumbs up, and share throughout your entire social media platforms, wherever it is that you share videos. Follow me on Twitter at HeelSteven. And I believe it or not, I actually purchased Slammiversary on Fight.tv. I forked over $40. Was it worth $40? No. However, this was not a bad show by any means necessary. This was actually a very good show by Impact Wrestling. Impact Wrestling, I felt like, needed this more than anything right now. Granted, it would have been awesome if there was a crowd, I agree. But that's wrestling right now in 2020 with this whole pandemic. They were in an empty building somewhere in Nashville. But overall, with all that being said, I enjoyed myself watching the show. I ask you this question right now. Give me your thoughts in the comment threads below. Your thoughts on the show, your thoughts on the surprise returns, debut, what have you. What was your favorite match on the show and all that fun stuff? If not in the comment threads, let me know on Twitter, because we did have some returns. We did have some debuts, if you will. And more importantly, we now have a new Impact World Heavyweight Champion. We'll get into that in just a bit. Early today, I did record my predictions. I gave my thoughts on the Good Brothers, Gallows and Anderson signing with Impact Wrestling. They showed up at the end, and more importantly, ladies and gentlemen, Trouble is on its way Tuesday. Again, I look forward to watching Impact on Tuesday. I can't believe I'm saying that. I do hope, though, that they can carry this momentum and just go forward. Because one thing that I'll say about Impact is that, yes, they'll do something good, right? And you just want them to carry the momentum, and for whatever reason, they'll take like 4 steps back. And I'll give you this example. Slammiversary 2018 was a good show by a lot of people, right? You had Austin Aries versus Moose for the world title. You had Pentagon Jr. and Sami Callihan in that fucking hardcore match where if Sami lost, which he did, he had to shave his head. And if Pentagon would have lost, he had to lose his mask. But again, everything on that show was good, right? And you thought with that, oh my God, they're going to carry this momentum into a new direction. At the time, Anthem bought Impact, what have you. And it just took a couple steps back. But I hope here with what happened today, they can carry that momentum and just go forward, like I mentioned earlier. The show kicked off with a very good video package. Talking about the release people from WWE. They didn't mention WWE at all. Keep that in mind, right? How there will be a mystery opponent in the Fatal 4-Way. How people are going to be coming to Impact Wrestling. Surprises here and there. We had the first match of the night. We had the Rascals of Desmond Xavier and Zachary Wentz versus a mystery tag team. Again, they issued an open challenge. And a lot of people, I assume, were expecting the likes of the Good Brothers. Or maybe you're expecting Brian Myers and Matt Cardona. I'm sorry, Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. Right? Something like that. Or hell, maybe members of Ace and Ace. Instead, you got the return of the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. A team that I have not seen an Impact in years. Granted, you've seen them team up in Ring of Honor. They had a couple of matches with the Young Bucks, if you will. But other than that, when you think of the Motor City Machine Guns, I think of their time in TNA. They had, again, a very good matches back in the day with Generation Me. But more importantly, I think what I remember the Motor City Machine Guns by more than anything was their feud with Beer Money in like that best of 5 series matches. I don't know if you remember that, but back in the day, that was amazing, right? And they came out here, and again, they didn't miss a step. They did not miss a step. I thought overall it was a very good opener by both teams here. They gave it their all. Good back and forth to near falls again. But it was all said and done. Sabin and Shelley put Dez in the dirt bomb for the win. Now, granted, I thought out of the 4, I thought Desmond Xavier really hung out here. He really delivered, in my opinion, right? I would have had, Wentz get pinned, but that's nor here or there. But again, a very good opener to kick off this pay-per-view, whether you guys like it or not. But again, guys, chime in and give me your thoughts on this opening match. Did you enjoy it or not? Give me your thoughts. Backstage, we saw Taya Valkyrie and Rosemary. They had separate conversations with Johnny Bravo. And they both told them, right, that they must win the number 1 contender knockouts gauntlet match, right? So I guess both women tried to talk into Johnny Bravo's ear. Fine. It was what it was. From there, we go on to the technically championship match, not an official championship match in the eyes of Impact Wrestling. We had Moose defending the TNA World Heavyweight Championship versus Tommy Dreamer in a old school rules match. Basically another way of saying hardcore, anything goes, no disqualification. Moose came out with a revamped version of the championship. Basically, it's on a new strap. It's on a white strap. They actually re-leathered the belt this time. It's not it doesn't look like it. Granted, okay, fine, fuck it. It is a replica belt, but at least now they put real leather on it and they put backing on it to make it seem like, yeah, this is the official TNA championship, right? I'm just gonna say it. Overall, though, I thought they had a very good match. Tommy Dreamer, for how old he is right now, I'm just at a blank right now. I can find out his age right now as we are recording this right now. But again, he's up there in age, right? He's up there in age. He is literally 49 years old, almost pushing 50, right? And he is still going out there and tearing it up. He took some heavy bumps here against Moose. There is a moment in this match where Tommy Dreamer has a kendo stick. He's up on the top turnbuckle, and he goes to jump. And Moose does a standing dropkick and gets air and hits it on Tommy Dreamer. Which I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Again, Moose, in my opinion, is completely underrated. I feel like he deserves much better. To me, he should have been in that Fatal 4-Way main event. But it is what it is. Back to my notes here. Moose puts Dreamer's face into a pile of thumbtacks that Dreamer brought into the ring. And then Moose connects the lights out spear for the win. So Moose retains the TNA World Heavyweight Championship here. Again, a very good match. Hats off to both Tommy Dreamer and Moose here for delivering a very good match here on the pay-per-view. We have Gia Miller, and she's awaiting a new arrival to Impact Wrestling. She's basically waiting for the new arrival to show up, but instead Johnny Swinger pulls up in a Jaguar and says that the rental car was under the name Anderson. He was referring to Ole Anderson, but hey, I get it. Comedy bit, fine. I'm totally fine with it. From there, we get the number 1 contenders knockouts gauntlet match. This, I must say this right now, was a complete, total clusterfuck. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Some of the women that were in this match are talented. We know they can go. We know that they're going to be champions down the road, right? Someone like a Taya Valkyrie, who's already a former champion. They had Madison Rain, Havoc, who were already champions at one time in Impact Wrestling. I know there was a couple more in there. I could be wrong. But then you have some, again, talent that can go, right? But then you have talent that, honestly, you have talents there that honestly are just still green as shit, if you will, that just, when it was all said and done, right, you had moments in this match. You had Johnny Bravo, right, come in at number 3 dressed as Tye Valkyrie. You also had him dressed up as Rosemary. Kind of embarrassing, made an ass out of himself. Eventually, it was all down to Kylie Rae and Tye Valkyrie. And Kylie Rae gets the win, coming in at number 2 in this gauntlet match after hitting a super kick on Tye Valkyrie. And now Kylie Rae is going to be challenging for the Knockouts Championship between either Deonna Purrazzo or Jordynne Grace, somewhere down the road. And that should be a fun match. But again, someone like Kylie Rae getting the win, I'm fine with. It's someone new. However, that match was just a giant clusterfuck. Just say that right now. And it's funny because there's a moment in the match where I think it was Don Callis saying that how he would wish to see the Knockouts tag team titles return. I get it. WWE has their own tag team division too, which is nothing bright to say about, nothing really whatsoever. But it is what it is. I'll say one thing too. Again, I haven't watched Impact in God knows how long. I said that in my predictions. Even watching today, I will say this right now. Josh Matthews is the fucking bleeding shits. He is the fucking bleeding shits. Impact Wrestling, honestly, fire this dude. I know I shouldn't be saying that. I know at this point in juncture right now, what we're facing right now, to wish someone to lose their job is very fucked up. And I get that. But there's a lot of people out there on the independent circuit that I guarantee you can do a better job, hands fucking down, than Josh fucking Matthews. He is unbearable to listen to. The way he sells stuff on commentary, no, bruh. Not for me. But that's just my humble opinion. It is what it is. From there, we go to a surprise, right? They keep on coming. We had Heath. He jumps the guardrail. He's got to cut a promo. And then he gets interrupted by Rohit Raju. And all this led to Heath takes him out. He just took him out with a swinging neck breaker, something like that on the corner. But that was that. There was that. Heath is in Impact Wrestling, the former Heath Slater. I'm fine with that too, if you will. From there, we go on to the X Division Championship match. Willie Mack defending the X Division Championship versus Chris Bay. I thought overall for a match, it was very well done. Both guys went out there, got a good near falls, good moments in this match, good spots, if you will, right? Willie Mack is amazing. Don't get me the fuck wrong. He is an amazing performer. Hopefully he gets an opportunity down the road to challenge for the world title or get placed in a bigger position in Impact Wrestling. Because he does deserve it. The guy, even for his size, he can go. It's amazing. Chris Bay is, again, a star of the future for Impact Wrestling. Just as much as Trey is, Ace Austin, the list goes on, right? So I look forward to seeing more of him too down the road. The match, again, is back and forth, and it ends basically when Willie connects the stunner, but Ray avoids the six-star frog splash. And then Bay rakes the eyes of Willie Mack, followed by the Art of Finesse to become the new X Division champion. So there's that too. Again, a very good match. I thought it was fun, and I would not mind seeing this down the road, likely on an episode of Impact Wrestling. From there, we get a backstage segment with Rhino as he reunites with Heath. They reunite, and Scott D'Amore confronts Heath and says that since he is not under contract, he cannot be backstage. And Scott asks him to leave. Rhino says he'll figure things out and ask Heath to show up to Impact this Tuesday. So I kind of get where they're going with this. Here's Heath Slater, Heath, where the fuck you want to call him, right? Trying to get a job. He's got a family to feed. He's got kids, right? So he needs this job. Holy shit, does he really needs this job right now? He really does, right? So I get the story here. Scott D'Amore is going to make Heath go through all these hurdles, I guarantee you, to get a contract with Impact Wrestling. And I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with it. Just as long as they don't fucking overdo it and go out of the fucking, fourth wall and shit. But we'll see. From there, we get what I thought was a very good match, too. Probably the match of the night, in my opinion. For the Impact Wrestling Tag Team titles, you had the North of Ethan Page and Josh Alexander defending their Impact World Tag Team titles against the team of Ken Shamrock and Sami Callihan. I think the North, low-key, are one of my favorite tag teams right now in wrestling. Low-key. Because honestly, they don't really get that much of a mention. And they should. I said this on Twitter, and I'm going to say this right now. I know a lot of people want to see FTR versus the Young Bucks. And you probably will get that likely at All Out. But honestly, what I want to see more is FTR versus the North. Likely in Impact Wrestling or some independent promotion down the road once everything goes back to normal, what have you. But that's the match I'm more intrigued on seeing, to be honest with all of you. And I thought this match, for what it was worth, a good back and forth match too. Ken Shamrock at age 56, doing the stuff that he did here was insane. Doing a top rope belly to belly suplex on Josh Alexander. Fucking insane. Fucking insane. He then went on to do a dive outside the ring. No one caught him. He completely missed. Again, good back and forth. I literally thought for a second that Sami Callihan and Ken Shamrock were going to win the tag titles. I literally did. There's a moment in the match, there was miscommunication, where it looked like Shamrock had the match won, and I think it was Ethan Page who pushed Sami Callihan. He shoved him, and he lands on Ken Shamrock, and Ken's like, what the hell? Why'd you do that? And Sami trying to explain to him that, hey, he got pushed in. This led to Shamrock later on in the match trying to do a roundhouse kick on Josh Alexander, but he missed, and he hit Sami Callihan. Again, the moment in the match where Shamrock like in disbelief, like what the hell is going on here, right? Where he doesn't even break a pinfall. He doesn't. But other than that, all this eventually led to the North hitting their double team finisher for the win. And still the Impact Wrestling Tag Team Champions, the North. After the match, the North, they got on the mic and they say that they are the greatest tag team in Impact Wrestling history, right? They've held on to the title now for over a year, to my understanding, and that in itself is impressive. Let's be real about that. That's impressive, right? They beat every tag team, and I was expecting the Good Brothers. I was literally expecting the Good Brothers to come out here. Okay, they're coming out now. Instead, we got the Motor City Machine Guns, and all this led to them challenging the North for this Tuesday on Impact for the Impact Tag Team title. That should be a fun match. In all honesty, that should be a very, very fun match. I don't see the Motor City Machine Guns getting the win, but I think overall, though, it should be a very, very fun match. Like I said before early in this review, the Motor City Machine Guns have not missed a fucking beat since returning to Impact tonight. So let's see where all this goes. Let's see it. From there, we get the Knockouts Championship match. Jordynne Grace defending the Knockouts title versus the Virtuosa, Deonna Purrazzo. For a lot of people, this might be the match of the night. That's fine. I thought overall was a very good match between both women here. It went long. Both women got their moments in. There's a moment in the match where I think Jordynne Grace goes for like I want to say a fisherman buster, and it got a near fall. But again, just these two women going out there, it's just amazing. It's amazing to think that, hey, someone like Deonna Purrazzo, who was in NXT, and they did nothing with her. Granted, she was used on Raw as an enhancement a couple of weeks ago, a couple of months ago at the PC, and that was basically it. I do think, if I'm wrong on this, I do think that she appeared in the Women's Royal Rumble. If I'm wrong on that, I'm wrong on that, but I could have sworn she was in that match. But one of those things where it's like, it's amazing how she goes to Impact, and it's like, yo, you realize how amazing she is. Granted, if you watched her in Ring of Honor, you knew how good she was too. If you watched her in Stardom, you knew how good she was too. But here in this match, like, again, very good back and forth. Eventually, was all said and done, Deonna Purrazzo locked in this double armbar, and she literally made Jordynne Grace verbally submit. And by that, a new Knockouts champion, Deonna Purrazzo. And I look forward to seeing where they go with this. Eventually, we all know that somewhere down the road, likely this Tuesday, maybe even next Tuesday, we're going to get Kylie Rae versus Deonna Purrazzo, since Kylie Rae did win the gauntlet to become the number one contender for the Knockouts Championship. And that should be a fun match too. That should be a very, very fun match as well. Guys, again, give me your thoughts on Deonna Purrazzo versus Jordynne Grace and all that stuff. From there, we find out that on Saturday, October 24th, Impact Wrestling will return to pay-per-view with the biggest event of the year, Bound for Glory. Now, that is going to be the WrestleMania. Likely, it'll be in an empty venue again, depending how things go with the pandemic. Granted, right now is July, August, September, October, 3 months from now. Who knows what the fuck is going to happen? I still don't think by that time they're going to allow people to be in the building. But we shall see what's going to happen. I do know that companies like GCW and IWC are doing shows in outdoor locations. I'm not suggesting that Impact should go that route, but I wouldn't be surprised. I honestly would not be surprised if they try to do the outdoor route to have fans in attendance in some capacity. I wouldn't oppose of it though. To be honest with you, I really wouldn't oppose of it. But we shall see what they do. From there, we get to the main event. We get the main event for the Impact World title. We get Ace Austin versus Trey versus Eddie Edwards. And we were wondering who's going to be the fourth person. Everyone was expecting EC3, myself included. And out came Rich Swann, who was in crutches, and he revealed that he's okay. He's going to go for the world title. He did mention that earlier on in the show, and here he is. At that moment, I'm like, yo, are you kidding me? This is a letdown, a complete, utter letdown. And then we see another appearance, and it's Eric Young, the worldwide maniac. Eric Young shows up and makes it a fatal five-way. And here's the thing about it. I think Eric Young going back to Impact is a fine move. Don't get me wrong. But holy shit, he looked old as fuck in this match. Just being in the ring there with a lot of these young talents. He looked old as fuck. Some people will say out of shape, better shape than me, but that's around the point. Okay? I look forward to seeing what he does here in this new run in Impact Wrestling. We all know his time in WWE really wasn't that good, with the exception of his time in Sanity and NXT. That was great. That was awesome. But once he hit the main roster, it's like, bruh, you broke up Sanity and you have all of them going by their own routes, like you just knew that was the end. I'm surprised he's lasted that long in WWE until he got let go because of the pandemic. But I'm surprised he stood that long. I'm surprised. But I think, again, Impact is a better fit for him. They're going to make a big deal out of him and all that stuff. The match overall, I thought, was a very good back and forth fatal five-way, if you will. You had Trey and Austin going at it. Again, you're showcasing your young talent, your future, if you will, as you should have. There's a moment in the match where, and again, it led to the first elimination of you had Eddie Edwards hitting the Northern Lights suplex, right? Or the Tiger Driver, my bad, the Tiger Driver onto Ace Austin. And Trey, because he's so obsessed with being the one responsible for taking out Ace Austin, he breaks the pin. And by doing that, Eric Young hits the pile driver. It is very sick, too, the way he hit the pile driver, too, on Trey. And he got the 1, 2, 3, and Trey was eliminated. We had Rich Swann going at it with Eric Young. And in a shocking elimination, Rich Swann eliminates Eric Young. I was in disbelief. I'm like, wow, really that quick? Right? And this led to Eric Young snapping. I'm pretty sure somewhere out there, American Alucard was doing backflips by seeing Psycho EY back in Impact Wrestling. Just saying. So EY is eliminated. He snaps. He takes out Rich Swann, grabs a steel chair, and hits his surgically repaired knee. This led to Ace Austin and Rich Swann going back and forth for a little bit. Rich Swann got some covers for near falls, and then eventually Ace Austin eliminates Rich Swann. We're down to Eddie Edwards and Rich Swann. Keep that in mind. And there's a moment I'm like, okay, they're going to really go this route and put the belt on Ace Austin. I literally thought that. Okay. He's 23 years old. Keep that in mind. Fine. Why not? Put on a young talent. Give them the opportunity to shine, what have you, right? And they went out there for a couple minutes, good back and forth. And eventually, when it was all said and done, Eddie Edwards picks up the pin. He beats Ace Austin. And then out of nowhere, you had Madman Fulton come out and attack Eddie Edwards. And you get a double team of Ace Austin and Madman Fulton onto Eddie Edwards, who just won the Impact World title at this moment. Now out come the Good Brothers. And it looked like they're all going to gang up on Eddie Edwards. And instead, you had the Good Brothers take out Madman Fulton. And then you see them hit the Magic Killer on Ace Austin. And that's how you close the show. With Eddie Edwards, who's the new world champion, celebrating with Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson. Machine Gun Carl Anderson. And again, they're signing off, and then out of nowhere, they play a video of EC3. They see the 3 logos, right? The number 3, right? And it's EC3. He's staring at the camera, and he throws a glass onto a wall. We find out that he will be on Impact this Tuesday. Again, Impact Wrestling, they're giving you a reason to watch Impact on Tuesday. And again, I thought overall this pay-per-view delivered. They needed this pay-per-view. They really did. And they hit a home run. No doubt about it. But I ask you guys this question. Give me your thoughts in the comment there below. Your thoughts on the pay-per-view. Did you enjoy it or not? All that fun stuff. I will be tomorrow streaming live for Extreme Rules, the horror show, once the show goes off the air. But again, this was your Slammiversary 2020 review. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button down below. Give the video a big old thumbs up and share throughout your entire social media platforms. Follow me on Twitter at HeelSteven. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, y'all, I am Steve, and this has been another installment of Around the Point. Peace out, dorks.